lose spiritual focus. Because he will get married and he will get distracted and forget it. I don't want my son to be like that. I want my son to be a Urdhvareta, a very celibate, strong, Naishtik brahmachari. So he kept him in the forest and didn't let him meet anyone except male sadhus. So that nice, good impressions of spiritual advancement are given in the heart. Rishishringa lived all his life like this. But it was interesting that at that time, there was a king by the name Maharaj Romapad. Now Maharaj Romapad, in his kingdom, there was drought. And there was no water absolutely. And he asked the sages, how do I get rain in my kingdom? So the sages in Maharaj Romapad's kingdom said, you have to bring a celibate, Naishtik, powerful sage into your kingdom. As soon as he steps into your kingdom, there will be rain. Maharaj Romapad said, who can I find like that? And they suggested Rishishringa in the forest. Now it's interesting that Maharaj Romapad had a daughter by the name Shanta. This was actually Dasharath Maharaj's daughter. But Dasharath Maharaj's daughter, he very lovingly gave to Maharaj Romapad to take care. Because Maharaj Romapad and Maharaj Dasharatha were best of friends. So Maharaj Romapad, he wanted to ask, how do I invite Rishishringa into my kingdom so that it starts raining? The sages said it's not easy. His father is very strict. He's protected him, safeguarded him from meeting anyone except those whom his father believes in. So how do I do this? Maharaj Romapad made some plan. He collected a few very beautiful, wonderful, attractive girls in his kingdom and said, please go into the forest and perform bhajan, go. But the plan was to allure and get him into the kingdom. So they went into the forest and they made a hut very close to Rishishringa's hut. So now you know where Bollywood gets all its ideas from. So made a hut very close. So Rishishringa would come out and one fine day he saw these Matajis, girls, so to speak, very young. And he had never seen this species. Because in the forest he had only met male. He had never seen a Mataji. Like His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj says, when he lived 8 years on top of the mountain in New Vrindavan, for 8 years he never saw a Mataji. And he said, I lived like that as a brahmachari. So some grihastha asked Maharaj, how did you keep your brahmacharya? Didn't you ever feel like what we feel, like to see a Mataji or, to interact? Maharaj said, no, but however, I had association of 2 Matajis. He said, who? He said, cows and Tulsi. He said, but for 8 years I never saw. But when after 8 years I got down from the mountain and I saw Matajis, and then it hit me, oh, for 8 years I have never thought of a lady in this world. So, these stories are not fictitious. There are great personalities of that caliber even on this planet at the moment. So Rishishringa, as he saw these Matajis, he was thinking, who are they? And there were some, Paurusha Vikar, so to speak, some male transformations in his body, and he was feeling a little excited. Somehow those Matajis came to him for taking blessings and serving him very humbly, very sincerely. And then in no time, they got some sweets. He got some fruits for them. They got some sweets for him. And they ate the fruits that he gave, and he ate the sweets that they gave. And he had never tasted sweets because he had never got out of a forest. So he was thinking this is just another form of fruit. He said, where do you get this? They said, actually, we get it in our ashram. So he went to their ashram in the forest. They said, but actually, this is just an insignificant byproduct of what we have there. This is something very insignificant. If you want to taste something sweeter, then you should come to our actual house. He said, but how can I come? My father doesn't let me go out anywhere. He said, don't tell your father, you just come. Don't worry, this is not like a mother-in-law, daughter-in-law story. Like after marriage, the wife is taking the son away from the parents. It's, you don't have to bring in purports like that. It's just a story. Just laugh it out. So then they take Rishishringa, and Rishishringa very happily in their association, he goes